I always wonder why birds choose to stay in the same place when they can fly anywhere on Earth. And then I ask myself the same question. We always talk about the risk of leaving. What if it doesn't work out? What if I fail? What if I lose everything? But no one talks about the risk of staying, about what happens when a bird with wings forgets how to use them. When the sky is wide open and you convince yourself you belong in a cage. It's normal to be scared when you think about changing something in your life. A job, a relationship, a city, a version of yourself you've grown used to. Leaving means uncertainty, and uncertainty makes people anxious. So instead, we perch in the same place, convincing ourselves it's safer not to fly. It's not about what you do, it's about what you stop doing. Comfort turns into routine, routine turns into numbness. And one day, you realize the branch you've been clinging to isn't a home. It's a trap. It won't feel dramatic. It won't be some grand moment where you spread your wings and soar, or like a movie where you stand up and shout, "I can't take this anymore." It happens in tiny, unnoticed ways. When you stop getting excited about the wind, when you tell yourself you're fine in a place you've clearly outgrown, when you look up at the sky and no longer imagine yourself in it. We tell ourselves stories to make it okay. That's just how life is. Maybe it's not so bad. At least it's familiar. And I get it. Familiarity feels safe, like a nest you built once, long ago. But the thing about nests is they're not meant to be lived in forever. They are built to rest, to grow, and then to leave. Familiarity isn't freedom. It isn't peace. It's just familiar. For a long time, I stayed where I was. I had ideas, things I wanted to say, things I wanted to do. But I convinced myself it wasn't the right time, that no one would care, that it was safer to stay grounded. But then I realized staying was starting to cost me more than leaving ever could. I picked up a camera. I started making these videos, even though I didn't know if anyone would watch, which to a start no one did. If you always wait until you are ready to start, then you'll never start. It does not matter how many tutorials you watch on YouTube or how expensive of equipment you can get. It felt awkward, it felt exposing, it felt uncertain, but it also felt like flying. The only way to fly is to spread your wings. Little by little, I started to remember what it felt like to be alive. Not because everything was perfect, but because I moved. And that's the thing about birds. They're not afraid of falling, because falling is a part of flying. The danger isn't leaving, it's never moving. It's sitting so still for so long that you forget the sky even exists. You're already paying a price. Every single day you stay somewhere you've outgrown. And it's not just money or time, it's your energy, your joy, your sense of possibility. It's everything you could have been. The question isn't, is it risky to leave? It's, how much is it costing me to stay? Maybe it's time to fly. Not because you know exactly where you're going, but because you know you can't stay here. And look, I'm not saying it's easy. It's actually really hard. It's uncomfortable, it's awkward, and most of the time it won't look or feel the way you pictured it. But staying in the same place, just because it's familiar, costs you way more than people realize. I know because I did it for a long time. I told myself it was fine, that maybe this is just how life is. But deep down I knew I wasn't growing, and I wasn't excited, and I think a lot of people feel that way. But it's easier to stay numb than to risk failing at something new. If you're hearing this and it hits a little too close to home, that's probably a sign. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need some perfect plan. You just need to move. Start small if you have to. Pick up that camera, apply for that thing, see what you've been holding back. Whatever it is, just move. The longer you stay somewhere you've outgrown, the harder it gets to remember what it feels like to be alive. So yeah, maybe it's time to fly.